I want to talk to you about this amazing formula I discovered through years and years being in a abiding state, and yet understanding that there still was so much to see and so much to deepen and so much to liberate. So, which brought me to a good 4 years or probably even more so, working with KI, probably in the last 6 years, even before KI was KI, kilobit inquiries, it was living inquiries, and my obsession with that was already starting back there, seeing that there was this missing link in just the part of being aware of everything that was arising. There was something missing, and it was missing the engagement of the body, and the somatic experience was missing. So taking years of, let's see, 13 years probably of presence, 6 years of kilobit inquiries, and the actual part of living had taught me this amazing formula that I want to share with you. So for real lasting transformation, we cannot only inquire and process that out of our systems. That alone, without doing the living part, the engaging part with life, is not going to work out. Just being aware and sitting on the cushion, or just being aware of everything that is arising naturally, will take us actually forever for life to start retriggering all the nuances around our egoic unconscious structure, basically mind-body survival mechanism that hides from awareness. So not one alone, not the other one alone, because if we ceaselessly, daily inquire and process and work with repression without the element of awareness, then we're just retriggering and re-traumatizing our nervous system. Now, what do I mean by that? Is that the fact that these two elements really have to be there in processing, but it's not that I'm pointing out. It's not the fact that you have to be conscious of your feelings when you process. That's one thing. But what I want to point out is actually, how does it look like? How does one arrive at a comfortable place of living, a comfortable place of engaging with life? So the formula is that I want to share with you. It's seeing, it's feeling, and it's living or mirroring. So I'm going to go a little bit as quick as I can, not to make this video too long. I'm going to go over each one. Why do I mean by that? How does that formula helps us to move on with life, to become our authentic selves, to be more free, to be ourselves? And it's very important. So the seeing part is awareness. And the seeing is so important, not just to see our deficiency stories and our sabotaging energies and our unconscious motivations and utilities and all the mechanism, the survival mechanism that comes online, right? Resistance, procrastination, needing to hide, and so on. Not just seeing that every time it arises, but we need to consciously really decide within that seeing that this doesn't serve me anymore. This is a fucked up attempt to get love. This is a fucked up attempt to get approval, to get safety, It never brought us that, and it never will. So in this conscious inner waking up from enmeshment with that story is very much needed. But how would you wake up from that story without actually living? So there's that part comes in that we need to engage with life. We need to create that mirror reflection that will tell us, look here, look what's happening, so that the seeing part can come in, so that the seeing could be engaged in something that feels contracted, disengaged, dissociated, painful, whatever it is that your system is trying to digest and liberate and just detoxify. We really need to start living to start seeing that. And that's very, very important. So it's in the seeing, it's in the feeling that I'm going to get into that in a moment. So it's Kilby inquiries, it's processing, it's somatic processing, it's repression work for sure, to get the engine that drives all these stories, to get that at bay. But it's in the living that we're going to start having that mirror effect. And the mirror is like, in the mirror, when we look at the reflection, there's nothing that it holds on to, right? There's nothing that it tries to keep or push away. It's exactly that through the seeing and through the processing, together with living, we're going to start orient ourselves that I no longer need to grasp onto this for safety. It never, ever brought me safety. If anything, if I really get serious and I really explore that through inquiry, I'm going to start noticing how much reserved and repressed energy and wasted energy I have around this situation. So it's in the seeing, it's in engaging with life, and it's bringing everything that you feel that life reflects back to you as a mirror, but a kind of like there was a Russian story called The Broken Mirrors. It was like this land where everything was completely the opposite of what it should be. And things were just like very distorted. Here it is. So when you start living, you start noticing, because your awareness through doing KI and the feeling, right? And the feeling, the processing part, your whole system and your awareness would be so heightened that when you get into a relationship, when you get a new job, when you try to face your fear and get out there and start doing those videos and so on. So it's like when we really start engaging with life in this way, we start noticing, oh my gosh, I'm still not free here. Oh my gosh, I'm still believing this here. And oh mine, there is this story that is still looking for love and attention, unconsciously really running the show. So it's in the seeing and in this clear, I don't want to continue this at all. This huge, bold no to this, not a repressed no, not a pressure kind of no, not a guilt trip, but this conscious seeing of the existence itself, the beingness itself, the awareness itself, waking up from entrancement with story. That's important. That's very important. Now, again, to get to that alone with just letting life happen without processing, that's not really going to work. If we're not really processing, if we're not going deep, if we're not going underneath and to the core, to the root of the deficiency story, then we're just going to be stuck again for all of this to arise again and again and again. And no matter how much seeing we're going to do, the falling away is not going to fall away. But if I do everything in combination, I engage with life so that it can mirror back to me. I stay present to the best of my ability to see everything. I get my curiosity to see all the illusion, to see all the what I said with the mirror effect was the distortion, right? To see the distortion, to see the illusion, to see the futile mechanism of that has exhausted itself, so exhausted itself. So to see that, right, we need to live that, and we need to process that. Because if we're not processing, we won't be engaging with life with challenging situations, which could be a relationship, which could making that YouTube channel we really wanted, which may be sharing our message or sharing our skill or sharing our talent or sharing our gift with the world. And we're going to continue hiding. So this recipe is fundamental to transformation, really. And if you can really understand that, not through your head, but through actual direct experience, get into that KI session, get into that Killer-Be Inquiry training or retreat, whatever it is, engage with that process. And then after clearing for a little bit, start noticing, what is it that I'm hiding from? What is it that is in my interest, but something keeps me away? Something keeps me away. Inquire into that, engage in that, put yourself out there. Let life happen. Let life happen. Let relationships happen. And then you can bring more stuff into inquiry. So with doing KI, more seeing will come, more awareness will come online, and things will be very, very sensitive. You might notice so many things you haven't noticed about yourself. So really coming back into understanding, really coming back into understanding, what does it really take to become free? People ask me in training, is it a month? Is it 2? Is it 6 months of sessions? Is it 2 years of sessions? What is it? And it's none of these numbers. And I understand for some of you, you have really deep trauma, but it's in the willingness to transcend, which is seeing, transcend, in feeling, which is processing, somatic processing, KI, repression, and it's in the living that it's really gonna show up. Are you making progress, or are you just fooling yourself? Right? So, funny enough, there was a very dear friend of mine just shared that if they will process procrastination, somehow procrastination will disappear. Just like a wonderful example. But it's not in just the processing of the procrastination and everything that is in the way, but it's also engaging in being active and proactive with life in some way, even if it's like tiny little steps. So, but if I do both at the same time, I move into life and I engage with what is it I was procrastinating for a long time. And then I would work on whatever else is in the way of that manifesting fully, whether it's my fear, whether it's my shame, whatever it is, my unexpressed anger. And I will process that, and then I will engage here. Then for sure, I can see the seeing is right there to see what else I need to process, to see what else I need to let go, to see what else I need to say a big, bold yes to, right? So, and all that to say, it's just that it's so humbling, right? When we really truly see through a deficiency story that was deeply hiding. And as I'm saying, with 13 years of really being really spacious internally, and then 6 years of this work, Killer-Be inquiries, living inquiries, Killer-Be inquiries, unfindable inquiry previously. It's like, just right now, it's so humbling to see that there is this deficiency story that came back through the back door and started to sneakily really operate my system. So it was in the seeing how exhausted it was to actually maintain that energy. And I can share it. It was an energy of, I'm unloved, I'm unseen. Well, I'm unseen, therefore I'm unloved, or therefore I'm unwanted with my mom. But it started to come up in an intimate relationship. And then it started to come up in my work, overschedule everything and just overstretching myself. And to be seen, right? To be seen by my mom, which don't even care, or to be seen in our intimate relationships, for that, to be seen, to be loved, to be wanted. So how relaxing, honestly, how relaxing it was to be able to process it, first to be able to see it clearly, deep, deep, deep seeing, and deep, deep, deep acknowledgement, like, wow, it's okay for you to rest. It's fine. I don't need this anymore. I truly, truly don't. And so much peace uncovered with that. So much more free time uncovered with that. So much more self-respect uncovered with that. So many insights and so many other connections instead of focusing on one particular connection. So much beauty lies within that. Living, engaging, in this case, we're engaging in a relationship, intimate relationship, and having that clear seeing and bringing that over and over to KI sessions, self-facilitated or facilitated, and just really moving the energy. So, and I'm not saying it's fully done. It's fully done in the external way. Yeah, for sure. It's like, it's been seen, it's been busted. Hey, you've been cut red-handed, and I am no longer wanting to continue doing this. Like, I'm no longer going to fuel this unconsciously because it's so goddamn conscious. I choose not to. Are you choosing? What are you choosing? Are you observing your unconscious stuff playing out? Are you bringing that into inquiry? Do you understand that it's not just through processing, but starting living and challenging yourself, not over your comfort zone, but stretching that comfort zone tiny little bit and seeing what else needs to come into inclusion, right? So I'll leave you with that. So seeing, feeling, or processing, and living or mirroring. Seeing is awareness, feeling is Kilby inquiries, and living or mirroring is engaging with life. Take care. Find your own ability to be intuitive about everything that is happening within you. Stay curious, and life will show you the way. Life will show you where else you're still believing something about yourself that is not whole, or that is not fully integrated yet. Okay, much love.